Good evening. It is, what is it? Saturday the 11th of January. I've just come out now and it's just come up to 6:45 again. I was supposed to come out a little bit earlier. Yeah, I've come out to log on and it's exactly the same time as it was yesterday when I started my shift. So yeah, it's a little bit warmer. It's the whole 2 degrees today, so at least it's in the plus. It has been throwing it down before. So yeah, let's see what happens. If the temperature drops again, it's going to be ice everywhere because of the rain. So yeah, let's see how we get on. So I'm an hour in. It is just coming up to 2:45. It's been quite busy, to be honest. First job I took was Bank Southport, which is the outskirts of Southport, into Southport. I did have to run probably, I'd say, a good 5 miles for it, and it was right out in the sticks. I mean, single track lanes, completely lost kind of thing. But it was £16.98 for 5.2 miles. But then I probably done about 5 miles, like I said. So, but I thought it kind of gets me, you know, out of the wilderness and into the thick of it a little bit. So yeah, I done that. Which then led straight on to another £8.70 for 3.3 miles, and then I done a quick little XL, £5.90 for 0.9 of a mile. So currently on £31.58 for the first hour. So yeah, not too bad. Yeah, hopefully it continues like this. So catch you in a bit. So it's just coming up to 9:15. Before the last, I'm sorry, which one was it? Was that an XL job? I can't remember if this one I'd already included before. It was an XL job. I think I'd done that one, yeah. £5.90 for 0.9 of a mile. And then I accepted that job, which was including a pound tip, £9.73 for 4.6 miles. And then another job including another pound tip was £6.46 for 2.7 miles. And then I had an XL, £6.43 for 1.2 miles. And then I've just had a £5.97 for 1.8 miles. So currently on £60 and a couple of pence for the past 2 hours. So yeah, about £30 an hour. Not too bad. I'll give you another update in about an hour's time. So it's been a while. I didn't realise it'd been so long. The last update was just before 9 o'clock. Let's have a little look. So yeah, I had a little £3.82 for 1 mile. £3.98 for 1.4 miles. I think that was the one. It was quite funny. I picked these two girls up, and sorry, I got there and then I got a message saying, sorry, I'll be 2 minutes. And then like 20 seconds later the car pulled up and pulled on the path, and these two girls got out and got in. So I started the trip and I had to do a U-turn. So as I was doing the U-turn, she said, oh, I've left my side lights on. So I said, oh, I'll pull in. I said, you best turn them off. I said, because your battery will go flat. And she said, oh yeah, best Dad, because it's my mum's car, she'll kill me. So I pulled over. I start opening the door. She said, oh, I'll be as quick as I can. I said, oh, don't rush, just take your time, it's alright. You know, she's only turning them off. So then she done this thing where, like, she kind of leaped out and landed on 1 foot to start like running, but I don't know if her legs could handle the speed she was going or the weight she was carrying. I'm not sure, but she took like 2 steps and like her body was going faster than her feet, and she just absolutely face planted the floor. And I was sat there like I don't want to like burst out laughing or anything, and mate burst out laughing. She was like howling laughing, and mate then, because it had been raining, and mate then rolled over onto her back. Don't know why you'd do that if you fall over. She's laughing her head off, so then I burst out laughing, and then she's lying there like a turtle stuck on its back. And then she got up, and me and her mate were just howling laughing. She comes back and she's laughing, and her mate's like, why did you roll onto your back? And she was like, oh, I don't know. Oh Jesus, it was so funny. It was only like a 3-minute trip, and for the 3 minutes the three of us were crying of laughter. And her mate was like, oh, please tell me you've got cameras on the outside of the car and you've caught that. I was like, I wish I had a Tesla, because I said, like, you know, I could have played it back to you. Yeah, so I done that, which was quite funny. I then done including a £1 tip, which I'll just thank them for. It was £9.87 for 3.2 miles. I'd then done a 3.95 for 0.7 of a mile. I'd then done a including a £5 tip, so it was £9.82 for 1.7 miles. Yeah, so that job was only £4.82, but they've given me a £5 tip, which was nice of them. I then had an XL, £6.65 for 1.1 miles. A 5.26 for 1.9 miles. Oh, sorry, I've missed that bit off there. So I worked until 10, and then I was on charge until 11, or just after 11, and then I carried on, which is where I'm up to now. That XL was 20 past 11. 5.26 for 1.9 miles. Then I had another XL, £6.50 for 1.2 miles. A 6.62 for 3.8 miles. I then had, including a £2 tip, an £8.87 for 1.2 miles. Is a customer cancelled? So I'll just click on this just to make sure this was. Well, that's a customer cancel. This one, this trip was cancelled. I then had one that I cancelled, which was on Lord Street at the Grand Hotel, £3.75 at the cancellation fee. So it's really annoying because this guy's booked an Uber. He's gone onto the app. He's dropped the pin. You know, he said, I won't picking up from there. That was his decision, nobody else's. So I've gone to where the pin is and I've parked there. I then sat there for the 3 minutes. It then went into the chargeable time. I then get a message and it says, where are you? Question mark, question mark, question mark. So the second I see that, I can't stand rude people. Like, I start laughing to myself because I think, oh, God love you, you're walking now, or you're waiting for another Uber in the throwing down. It was throwing it down with rain. You know, because I'm sat on Lord Street where he's told me to sit, and the Grand Hotel is just to my left, and it's probably like set back probably 30 metres from the road, and there's loads of people all there. There must have been some event going on. They're all like in, you know, tuxedo kind of things. So there's a blue dot there, but there's loads of people all there, so I don't know who it is. If there's one person, you know, at least it narrows it down. You know, so then what you need to bear in mind is, like, whatever you say in the conversation, Uber can see. You know, so you can't be arsey with them, basically, because they can then just report it to Uber and say, oh, look what your driver said to me. So I've said to him, I'm at the pickup location where you have placed the green dot on the map. You know, bear in mind, I'm in this massive people carrier. I'm parked there. I'm the only, you know, like, private hire vehicle / taxi that's actually parked there. I've got my hazards on. It's not like you can miss me. And I'm at the location where he is specified for me to go. Yeah, so I tell him where I'm at, even though he knows where I'm at, because it shows him on his phone. And then I sit there for like another minute. So he's only got like 30-40 seconds left of his chargeable time now. And then he just puts question mark, question mark, question mark again. I was like, oh wow, what an arsehole. I felt like finding him just to say, I just wanted to let you know you're an arsehole. And then I just sat there and then waited for the time to tick over for its 5 minutes, and just cancelled it to get me £3.75. So I just can't stand idiots like that. You know, at the end of the day, he knows how the app works, because who doesn't? The only thing I've found people struggle to do is add destinations, and that's it. And it is a bit complicated. If you haven't seen it yourself, try starting a journey and then try finding your current trip on the app and adding destinations. It is a bit of a pain to do, to be honest. I've only seen it from, like, obviously I'm a driver, but the customer will pass their phone over and they're like, I can't find it, and I'm sitting there scrolling around and even I can't find it. And obviously I'm quite savvy, you know, tech savvy, and like it is difficult. They need to make it easier, but not being able to walk out of a bar, it says, you know, a black Vauxhall Vivaro is picking you up. There's one right in front of you with its hazards on, with Uber stickers on, parked where you've told it to park, and then you're saying, where are you? It's as though he's come out and he's standing there like that. Where are you? Can't see you. absolute top hat. So anyway, I moved on from that, and then done an £8 2p, which was a surge job for £2. Sorry, an £8 2p job for 2.9 miles. What I've noticed recently, in like the past week or two, I'm actually getting surge jobs. So when we all go into like these, you know, fake surge bubbles, in the past I might be in a surge, I've done 10 jobs within that surge, and like only one of the jobs is actually a surge, and it comes up saying surge. Whereas when I've been in a surge tonight, it's actually been surge, and then a surge, and then a surge, and I'm getting them jobs. So I've kind of thought like, yeah, I'm actually getting surge jobs. Straight after that, I've done a £5 20 for 0.8 of a mile. And then I've just then done another surge job, £8 84 for 1.9 miles. So currently on 151, and I've done 5 hours. So it works out £30 an hour, and a couple of pence. So it's not too bad. It's quite a busy night, to be honest. Surge jobs are helping, obviously, because of the weather and whatnot. What else we had? I had an XL job in Birkdale, and I turned up and it was just 2 people, and they got in. I said, "Those are just yous," and they went, "Oh yeah." And then the lady said, "Oh yeah, I booked an XL because you were the nearest." So I was like, "Oh, fair enough." And then the guy said, "Oh, this is nice." He said, "Well, what's this?" He said, "What am I sat in?" I was like, "Oh, it's a Vauxhall Vivaro E-Life." And he was like, "Oh right." And as we pulled up, he said, "That's my Mercedes Vito there." And he was like, he started laughing because he said, "Oh, when I was walking over," he said, "she was saying to me, 'Oh, don't touch the handles, they're electric.'" And I was like, what's going on here?" And then he pointed out that was his Vito. And I said, "Do you have the same issue?" He went, yeah. He said, "Even like this morning," he said, "I had a Manchester run." So he must do private hire and airport runs and stuff. He said, "I had a Manchester pickup." And he said, "People are just constantly going and grabbing the door handles because it's electric, and they're just messing about with them." And on the Vitos, the boot is electric as well. And I've always said, the only thing this misses out on, or has missed out on, the boot is manual. So I wish that was electric. But by the sounds of it, that's a pain, like the electric doors with customers. Because he says like, the customer will come out with like a big suitcase or whatever, and he'll say, "I'll open the boot for you, it's electric." He said, so I press the button, it starts going up, and you can hear them pulling it up, and it's like straining the motor. And he said, I'm shouting to him, "It's electric, let go of it." He said, and then they put the stuff in, and then they start like ramming it down. He said, and then he's pressed the button so that it's coming down. He said, and then the customers are pushing the boot down, and he's shouting to them, "Let go of the boot, it's electric." And you can hear the motor like whining away because someone's pushing it. So yeah, he was saying he was made up with this. He was saying like, for what you're getting, and he said it's basically identical to the Vitos. What else do they have? Another kind of interesting one is a guy got in, and he booked like a multi-stop, and basically he was stopping off at his mum's for like 10 seconds. He just ran in, God knows what he was grabbing, and then I was carrying on to his, and he said, "Can I just ask," he said, like, when you're doing a multi-stop," he said, "how long do we actually get at that drop?" I said, "I don't know, to be honest." I said, because normally when you're picking a customer up, you get obviously the clock that starts counting down. I said, but on a multi-stop, normally if I've got like 6 people in, I'll pull up, and then obviously you just open the door and 1 or 2 people get out, you shut the door, you swipe across because it says go to the next destination. And I've never really looked, so I said, I'll have a look now, because I've just never really noticed. So I pulled up, and it says like, "You've arrived at this stop." He goes into his mum's, and there's no clock or anything. You just swipe to head to the next destination. So I was like, he got back in, and I said, "I honestly don't know." I said, because what happens if he goes in there for a minute, 5 minutes, an hour, a day? Like, how long do you sit there for? I don't know how long they actually get, and I know some people might say, well, if they disappeared after 5 minutes, I'll probably just cancel the job and drive off. But I've had a scenario in the past, it was must have been a month or 2 ago. Picked up this woman, she was drunk, she'd fallen out with her partner, and she just kept adding different destinations. She must have been in the back for like 30 to 40 minutes. She had a suitcase in the boot because she'd left him in the hotel and all the rest, big domestic. And then she'd added another destination on, which was a Bargain Booze, to go and get some more ale because she was then going to her brother's. So we stopped at this Bargain Booze and she went in and she must have been in there 10 or 15 minutes. And I was thinking, I wanted to cancel the job and go, but I thought, well, I can't because all the luggage is in the boot. And I was thinking, like, how long do you wait? You know, because there is no clock or anything. So I said to him, like, I honestly don't know, to be honest. It's something I'll have to have a look into. Because he said I booked one the other day to go back to my house. He said, but I added another stop on the way to stop at the BP petrol station. He said, so the driver misses it at first. He said, and he was getting all like arsey and everything. And then he had to turn around to go back. And he said he was like having a go at me, saying like, oh, you know, you're taking the piss with all these stops and all that. And he was like, well, he said, I've added one stop because I need to pick something up in the garage. He said, and you've drove past it, that's not my fault. And he said, but then he said that he was going mad, the driver, because basically because he'd gone into the garage. And the customer was saying to me, I thought that's what a stop was. We were allowed to stop. And I was like, well, as far as I'm aware, you are. Because it's a stop. You've paid to stop. But I'm assuming that's for someone to get out or for someone to get in. But I've stopped where people have just said, you know, I'm just running into the garage or I'm just running into the shop to buy some cigs or whatever. And that's fine, because to me, they've paid another probably £2 or £3 for that stop. But then there is no clock on it. So like I said, what happens if they go missing in there for like 10 or 15 minutes? Are you going to get paid for that? Or so I've got no idea. And then he was talking about Christmas Day. He said it was him, his missus and his 3 kids. He said they went out and they travelled quite far. He said it only cost like £8 in a taxi, in an Uber. It was dead cheap. He said, and then coming back, he said he just booked another X and they were getting in, and obviously there was the 3 kids and his missus in the back and he was in the front. He said, and then obviously the driver turned around and said, oh no, you can't do that. He said, because, you know, I can only carry 4. He said, so I just got a tenner out and said, oh yeah, will you take that just to drop us off? He said, and he couldn't take the tenner out my hand quick enough and took us. And I was like, wow, how stupid can you get? Like, not only are you, you know, it's the safety aspect. What happens if you crash? You know, and you've got another child sat in the back who hasn't got a seatbelt on. But then on top of that, it's like you're going to lose your licence and everything. You know, why jeopardise all that for a tenner? You know, it makes absolutely no sense. The amount of times I've had to kick people out the back because too many will get in. You know, there's 5 seats in the back and like 6 will get in. You know, they'll sit there. Some people will sit there for 5 or 10 minutes arguing over it. And I'm like, well, I'm not moving. I don't care. I'm not moving. But, you know, that fella has happily taken a tenner and then squoze an extra child in the back. Oh, it's just absolute stupidity. So other than that, that's about it, to be honest. It hasn't been too bad. It's been quite busy. The odd little idiot here and there. But, yeah, it's been quite funny, to be honest. So I'll go back on now. Still saying it's surging a little bit. Some jobs that have come up have been half decent. But some jobs have just been awful. Considering it's all supposed to be surging, it's all like half of Southport now is red and the other half is like blue. I'm sat in the red. But yeah, some of the jobs that were coming up were like, you know, do you want me to pick someone up half a mile away, take them 10 miles for £10? And I'm like, well, how's that a surge job? And then after that, a job will come up saying £8 to go and pick someone up half a mile away and take them like a mile. And I'm like, well, that's a surge job. So like, I don't get it. There's something not quite right on the app. But I have noticed, as I said before, that I am getting more surge jobs now than what I used to get, which is a bonus. Yeah, I picked that lady up before from the train station, and she was like, because I think she had to wait like 8 minutes from where I dropped off for me to get over. I ran to her, which I think I had to run about 8 minutes to her because it was like a minute job, but it was a surge job. You know, I was getting like, I can't remember what it was, 10, 11 quid or whatever. And she was like, oh yeah, the app's saying it's busy, and I said, yeah, it's all surging. So it's like now it's surging, I've gone back on now, what, 30-40 seconds ago, but not a single job's come up. So I don't know if that's just because it's surging and the customers are looking at it thinking, well, I'll wait for that surge bubble to go. Got no idea. And the thing is, if a lot of the drivers like myself kind of sat back now, like what I'm doing, and looked at the good jobs, it would continue to surge. But obviously little tiny jobs are popping up, and they're just grabbing them and grabbing them and grabbing them. So it doesn't allow that surge effect to kick in, because people are just grabbing everything straight away. So yeah, I'm going to carry on now, and I'll keep. So final update, it is 2:30 and I've just got home. Last update I think was just after 1, I think it was coming up to like 1:15 or something. And yeah, I haven't done a great deal since then. The jobs were just crap, really crap. So yeah, basically I think I waited round Southport for all half an hour. Handful of jobs come in, really crap, not worth doing. So I just thought I'll start heading home, but I'll swing by kind of Ormskirk first, see if anything's happening. Come into Ormskirk and got a little £7.7 for 3.1 miles, and then done an XL which was £6.76 for half a mile, and that was it. Really crap. To put it into perspective, in that period, where was it? Must have come offline there for some of the, basically between like 10 to 2 and half 2 when I came offline. I've been offered 22 jobs and I'd only done them 2 jobs, because the jobs were they were crap, like really crap. It's like one here I popped up, it was an X, they wanted me to drive a couple of miles, 2.8 miles. This is when I was in Southport, and then do like 33 miles to Bolton. So it was like nearly like a 36-mile job for 39 quid. And that was a surge apparently, all the way to Bolton. So yeah, just stuff like that was coming up, and I was just thinking, this is crap. Certainly couldn't be bothered doing it. So yeah, I just thought I'd head back. One job did pop up as I was driving back. It said like go half mile back to Ormskirk, to then take them to Burscough, and it was like £3.10p or something. And I thought, are they for real? I thought, like, it's gone 2 o'clock in the morning, and Ormskirk was quite busy, to be honest. And I thought, why are they only offering drivers like £3.10p? It was an insult. And I thought to myself, I can go back and pick them up, or I can put my podcast on, my Sopranos podcast, and listen to that in peace and quiet as I drive home. So I done that, because I thought it's got to the point where I would rather listen to a podcast than go and pick customers up where I'm only being paid about 3 quid. Just as if I couldn't be bothered picking somebody up for that. Ridiculous. So yeah, once I got to that stage, it was like, it's time to go home, because yeah, it just starts like frustrating you, because they're just offering you steward jobs. So yeah, it's just time to call it quits. But yeah, other than that was about it really. I haven't really done massive amounts since that last update, just them 2 little jobs. I finished on 165 and 15 pence. I think I've done just over 6 hours. I think it's like 6 hours 15 minutes or something thereabouts. So it works out at about £27.50 an hour. So yeah, it's come down a little bit, basically because the last hour has started to affect it. And I thought to myself, I've probably got enough charge to last like another hour. I could stay out till probably 3:30, 4 o'clock. But yeah, I just couldn't be bothered. If I'm being honest, I just thought, I'm going to stay out. At best, you're going to make another £27.50 or another 30 quid. I thought I'd rather come home to bed. I can't be bothered. Lost interest. Yeah, so that's it. So I'll catch you on the next one.